like to introduce our next two speakers, Kate Gibb and Julie Lee.
Good evening, Wales Learning Union. Tonight, the beautiful you consultants, myself Kate, and I'm Julie. We would like to guide you through a few simple steps towards building a positive body image and positive self-esteem. Developing a positive self-esteem will help you effectively utilize the intrapersonal communication skills that we've been learning within the Wales Learning Union today. Let's start off with a fun exercise.
Hi, Kate. What do you love about your body?
I love my baby blues and my legs, of course.
And I love my hair. I love what I am.
Perfect. All right, so this is an example of a positive body affirmation. And now Julie's going to explain the significance of this exercise by introducing you to the I Love My Body campaign.
Talking about the I Love My Body campaign, has anyone know about it? Please show your hands if you know. Wow. Obviously, Kate and I are at the right place to promote the campaign. Generally speaking, I Love My Body campaign was launched 14 years ago by NOW Foundation. NOW, N-O-W, NOW, is short for National Organization for Women, which is a non-profit organization in the United States. The main purpose of this campaign is to raise the awareness of media-oriented, unhealthy beauty standards, and to spread a healthy and positive self-acceptance concept to everyone, especially women and girls. Every year, there is a special day called Love Your Body Day in October. On this day, all women come together to celebrate self-acceptance and promote a positive self-image, no matter what size, what color, what age they are. And this year, October 17th, this year's Love Your Body Day, and NOW Foundation is going to celebrate the 15th annual Love Your Body Day, and welcomes all of us to join it. Back to you, Kate.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the significance as to why we wanted to talk about the I Love My Body campaign. A positive self-image is not only critical for your physical health, but for effective communication skills to develop. Therefore, our self-esteem and self-concept can influence how we communicate about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves and how we communicate to others within small groups. I want to talk to you about a very personal story, and it's sort of the reason why we wanted to talk about this tonight. My sister struggled with her own self-esteem and her body image as a teenager, and her story helps demonstrate the important significance of paying attention to how you feel about your body. In the fall of 2007, in November to be exactly, I was in Montreal and I received a phone call, a devastating phone call, that my sister at 15 was hospitalized at Sick Kids in London, suffering from anorexia nervosa and bulimia. She was only 66 pounds at 15, and her heart was very low, and I almost lost her. It's actually really devastating to talk about this story, because it still afflicts her to this day. But through an amazing care team and the support of our family, she was able to recover by the time she's 17. You can see how heartbreaking it is because I'm like shaking. But I wanted to talk about this issue because her inability to become comfortable with her own self as she becomes a young woman, I feel is very important to not only women in this audience, but men. Because the lack of confidence that she has in herself affects all her relationships, both professionally and personally. So now, why are we so critical of ourselves? Why in 2007 alone, 450,000 women were suffering from an eating disorder like my sister? And why do 70% of us, specifically young women here, I'm sure it's an issue that we all face, even myself, have a negative feelings towards her body? You know? Well, the question is as simple as lies in the media. Our self-concept is negatively influenced by the unattainable, unrealistic body image that women are taught to ascribe to through the multitude of images that are thrown at us in fashion magazines, advertisements, music videos, to television. Now, let's take a look at a particular ad. This ad is of particular significance because this was actually in the news last year. This is a model who worked for Ralph Lauren. What do you see? Take a moment and think about it. Do you see how the media presents unrealistic, unattainable ideals for women and promotes the pursuit of perfection through a culture of thinness? Do you see how thin, especially through her waist, she is digitally manipulated to promote fragility and hunger? Do you notice how many women will take a look at this advertisement? And Ralph Lauren is a very well-known brand. In essence, our self-perception can become distorted by looking at images such as this. We see this all the time. I mean, you can go on the internet and you can just countless see this. According to our textbook, within a section that talked about social learning, we strive to copy these characteristics. We look at this as our role model. And these characters, such as this very thin model, are portrayed as perfect examples or ideal body types. Most models are 117 pounds at 5'11", versus the average North American is actually 5'4" and 140 pounds. Do you see, if we constantly look at this, the impact it has on our self-esteem? Now, Julie's going to talk about some specific strategies that the Organization for Women in the I Love My Body campaign outlines to help effectively mediate this.
When I first heard about Kate's sister's story, I felt sorry for her sister. At the same time, it really dawned on me that positive self-image is so important in our life. Later, Kate introduced me to the I Love My Body campaign, and we believe being a part of this campaign is a great way to spread the right message to build up self-acceptance and finally make a real difference in our life. On the website, loveyourbody.nowfoundation.org, we can find a great number of ways to participate in this campaign. For example, we can simply start by forwarding the homepage to our friends and family. We can put our own thoughts about self-image on social media sites, such as Facebook, Twitter, and blog. And we can simply stop blaming ourselves or judging others just by what they look. All we need to do is take actions. We are such creative and energetic young university students, and I believe we can create our own way to support this campaign. And Kate, would you like to tell us what you are going to do with this campaign?
Yes. As a Beautiful You consultant, I'm going to post it to my own personal blog, but I'm not going to plug my blog, so moving on to next. We cannot deny the importance, as we talked about in this presentation, about body image with respect to the way we communicate, both verbally and non-verbally. It fosters effective workplace communication. That is, within a group, you can stand up for yourself and tell them what you want, and it maintains team dynamics and social interactions. Researchers and psychologists have observed that people who have poor self-esteem avoid social interactions of all different types. So basically, if we work on improving our self-image and we learn to love ourselves, we're going to improve our own way we communicate and work more effectively within groups. And to have a few steps to leave you with to build positive self-esteem, you can use makeup and clothing to enhance your natural features and hide the ones we don't like. Those are simple fixes, but over the long term, we should practice positive self-talk, surround ourselves with positive people, because women suffering from eating disorders, it's often because of their relationships with people. And from doing that, over the long term, we can also act as our own media filter. It's really important we don't blame the media, but take responsibility within ourselves and decide who we want to compare ourselves. It's best not to compare yourselves to anybody. From doing that, you can help build positive self-esteem for yourself and communicate more effectively within your personal relationships and groups.
And thank you for your time and attention. Take a moment tonight to appreciate and love your body. Don't forget, October 17th, Love Your Body Day.
We have a few discussion questions for you. We wanted to make it as easy for you as possible. You know, just sit back, relax. If you want to go to the next slide, please. I just wanted to ask, a show of hands, who thinks they might want to participate in this campaign? I know I do. I've done it for the last 6 years. Who wants to? Okay. My other question is, What do you love about your body? I mean, it's really kind of something that's good to think about. Martha, what do you love about your body? Your hair? How about Tyler? What do you love about your body? This appeals to guys too. This isn't just an issue of young women. You have nice hair.
A six-pack of beer?
Yeah, yeah. Sam, what do you like about your body?
Smile.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love my gorgeous beard when it's grown in fully.
Yes, I have been admiring him from afar. It's just part of it. I mean, like, this is an issue that, you know, you can't ignore. And, it, you know, love yourself. I mean, I love myself too. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns? Yeah, go for it.
I don't really understand what the campaign is. Like you said, you want to participate, but participate in what?
Participation can happen often. They're on the website, www.now.org. Do you want to pull up the website? They have all these activities in October, and you can do something as simply as going on there and liking maybe their Facebook page. You can also, I think what they're pointing out is, in big cities, there's like women's organizations, and they all get together and they talk about how they love their body. But on a more individualistic level, on that day, maybe you can, like, on campus, organize something with your friends, and you can all, like, go out and celebrate yourself. There's these things that are called, like, positive body affirmations. You can practice that on that day. I know, learning from what my sister went through when she was working with her doctors, they were talking about, you know, love a part of your body. Maybe on October 17th, you can give yourself a manicure, a pedicure. It's really, you can go here and participate in their blog discussions. In larger city centers like Toronto, they have like women's groups that talk about different stuff. But basically, you can take that day and do whatever you want with it. It's kind of like, you know, St. Patrick's Day. You go out and party. Well, why not go and party about yourself? It's an individual kind of thing. That's what it is. Any more questions?
Well, first of all, just the way you guys spoke, feedback was really good. You were like very natural about it, and obviously this was more of a relevant issue to you, but you still made it your own, and it kind of like it was relevant to you and how it was important to you. But from yours, I have a sister who actually had the same situation, and when you said a year, that was actually really good, because mine, she was from 13 and went to Sick Kids, actually the same one in London and Toronto, not effective, had to go to, it was like such a process, but looking at her now and how she looked then, if you compared her to an ad, she was obviously thinner then. She cared a lot more about what she wore and like how she put herself together. But this, like the disease is so mental, because her confidence, she you know what I mean? Like especially before she got really sick, you think she had a lot of confidence because she was visually very pretty, but it's now that her body's changed in so many different ways. She spends less time on herself, but the way she thinks about herself, she's like a new person. She's really.
Well, it's a very difficult disease to struggle. Sometimes people struggle with it in terms of food and body image. And actually, my sister, it was really interesting. She started at 13, and it's really devastating. But it actually takes 5 years to completely recover. Like it takes about a year to. And once the disease gets really strong, it can take right over you. I'm sure your sister was in and out of hospital. Yeah. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this was it's really important to act as your own gauge filter, because my sister was like anybody else, a young person, and now she has high blood pressure. The damage that you can do to your body from starving yourself is instrumental. You can actually stunt your growth, girls. Like if you starve yourself, actually you gain weight with diets. You know, if you constantly diet, your body starts holding on to fat. And thank you for talking about your sister. It's an issue that, you know, is quietly becoming more and more out there, and I can't help but want to talk about it. And yeah, go for it.
Are there statistics on like its effect on men? Like do men struggle from like anorexia? Or
Actually, it's one of the fastest rising illnesses amongst young people, and it's really hard because it straddles both the physical and mental, but guys more and more. Guys probably, it's only like a 20%, so like if you're looking at 100% of those suffering, 20% of guys are suffering now. And the reason why they're starting to suffer is because today it's not only about how women look, but it's about how men look. I have a friend who's a personal trainer, and she actually had a teenage guy, go through it, and I mean, he sort of fell into that whole encapsulation of how you look, and he got kind of addicted to protein shakes and all this different kind of stuff, and it works a bit differently with men. Men don't have bulimia as much as they have anorexia, but it's about a 20%, I would say. And the interesting thing is that when you look at young people today, the amount of attention and focus that is on how you look. Like, I think one person from here before was talking about, like, in grade 8 they used to wear jogging pants, and now it's like, you know, what's the hottest pants you've got? So you can look online. The statistics are alarming. I mean, you had a question.
Oh, I was going to say, have you guys found kind of a difference now with the whole like Dove campaign, for example, where it's like loving yourself?
I would have to say, I feel like it's been quite a few years since the Dove campaign, and I feel like the Dove campaign hasn't done enough outside of like Dove itself. Dove hasn't worked enough with like a lot of women's organizations, which it should. And I feel like the Dove campaign, when it originally started, was really great, but now it's sort of more focusing on its brand. Like, there's a new commercial out where a girl is like, they're all positive sizes and stuff like that, but they're just like selling like shampoo or whatever. They don't, there's not enough talk within the brand anymore about positive self-image. They only hire healthy looking models, but I don't think they've done as good a job as they could. Yeah.
You have to keep in mind too that the Dove campaign is also owned by Axe, so
Yeah.
they're really contradicting. Like, I don't think Dove
Yeah.
does anything productive
Yeah.
at all.
Okay, good. Let's get some feedback.
Sorry.
I really like the flow between you guys, and also it was really interesting, and like I appreciate, I don't know other girls, but I really appreciate that you brought your story about your sisters. That was really good.
Good presentation. One more, good presentation. So we have one more presentation before break, so that's